This is video 16 for Math Lesson 2.6. Lesson 2.6 is about chance events. Tomorrow in class, we're going to be doing an experiment, and we're going to be talking about the chances of a certain event occurring. So in this video, we're going to talk a little bit about what does that mean, chance events. Now, things that happen are called events. There are many events that you can be sure about. You are certain that the sun will set today. It is impossible for you to grow to be 10 feet tall. There are also many events that you cannot be sure about. You cannot be sure that you will get a letter tomorrow. You cannot be sure whether it will be sunny next Friday. You might sometimes talk about the chance that something will happen. If Paul is a good chess player, you may say, Paul has a good chance of winning the game. If Paul is a poor player, you may say, it is very unlikely that Paul will win. When we talk about chance, we're also talking about probability. Sometimes a number is used to tell the chance of something happening. This number is called a probability. It is a number from 0 to 1. Now, that number that's between 0 and 1 might be expressed as a fraction, or it might be expressed as a percent. It could even be expressed as a decimal. The closer a probability is to 1, the more likely it is that an event will happen. A probability of 0 means the event is impossible. The probability is 0 that you will live to the age of 150. A probability of 1 means that the event is certain. The probability is 1 that the sun will rise tomorrow. A probability of 1/2 means that, in the long run, an event will happen about 1 in 2 times, half of the time, or we might say 50% of the time. The probability that a tossed coin will land heads up is 1/2. We often say that the coin has a 50-50 chance of landing heads up. A probability can be written as a fraction, a decimal, or a percent. The probability meter is often used to record probabilities. This is what the probability meter looks like. It is marked to show fractions, decimals, and percents between 0 or 0% and 1 or 100%. I know this is a small version, but you can kind of look and see how it's marked. By the way, if you would like to get a better look at a probability meter, there is one on page 402 in the student reference book, page 402. The phrases printed on the bar of the probability meter may be used to describe probabilities in words. For example, suppose that the probability of snow tomorrow is 70%. The 70% mark falls within that part of the bar where likely is printed. So you might say that snow is likely tomorrow instead of stating the probability as 70%. See here where it says likely and 70% is marked right here, falls in that likely area. 100% certain, 0% impossible. And in between we have things like extremely likely, very likely, likely. Half or 50% would be like a 50-50 chance. Unlikely, very unlikely, extremely unlikely. You are going to be doing some problems that deal with chance events, and you're going to be asked to use these kinds of words. I recommend that you use the probability meter to help you figure out which words would be the best words to describe the chances of certain things occurring. Now, as I said, there is a probability meter on page 402 in the student reference book. There's also a probability meter in the back of your student math journal on page 205. Try to remember that these resources are here available for you. Don't just guess. Until you're really familiar with the probability meter, get in the habit of looking it up.